No intro today, folks. Let's get straight into this.
Hey, what's up guys, Rip here.
What's
Today
up?
we have some very interesting gaming related drama to cover. So in case you missed it, at Summer Game Fest, there was an announcement for Resident Evil 9. And in that announcement, we saw some previews of what this game is going to be about. You can see some of the things listed here, but the main thing we're going to talk about for this video is Grace Ashcroft taking on a protagonist role. Now, this leads us to Reforge Gaming. I don't know if you guys know who this is, but from my observations...
Actually, I've already known him from Oh No Alex, okay? Just so you know, if you're watching this, I know him from Oh No Alex. If you don't know, Oh No Alex, he clowned on Reforge Gaming constantly because he was a PlayStation fanboy. Not only just Oh No Alex, Gar did it too. Yeah, Gara of the Rage, I believe that's his name. And there's also Klutz. Klutz also did the same thing with Reforge. Just a little FYI.
He's somewhat of a lolcow in the gaming scene among content creators at this point. And it kind of is confirmed because every time I see this guy, it's a clip of him and it's some out-of-pocket stuff where he's being made fun of. And today is no exception. So he had this to say about the design of Ashcroft, saying, "Dudes are already calling the Resident Evil 9 lead protagonist ugly. An epidemic of loneliness and misery is truly making some of you insane." First of all, projection with this part right here, but also they're making the claim that people are calling this character ugly and woke and all these things.
Yeah, so far I watched the trailer probably more than once. I didn't see anything. Let me tell you one thing. When it comes to diversity characters, you can make it, okay? Doesn't matter. However, if you sacrifice the story and the gameplay, oh, that is an issue, okay? How many games that focus on the message first, gameplay second? Now for Resident Evil, my first concern is of course de novo. De novo is going to be the #1 priority or the #1 concern for me because optimization is everything. The majority of Capcom sales comes from the PC, yet Capcom continues to ignore it by implementing de novo because they want to protect it from piracy, which, newsflash, it didn't. The game is gonna get pirated either way.
And stuff when they clarify these points they're trying to make. But yeah, there's a couple things to establish here, right? There would be a note added to this saying without a single evidence of the claim, this account is just trying to rage bait for engagement, which is against the TOS. Yeah, because there's really nothing to find here, right? They said this with almost no evidence to back it up.
You know what they say, a claim without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. I still remember a comment, I don't know who sent it. They say that Vera Dark was a stalker, which they didn't give me evidence for it, so I just dismiss it. A claim without evidence can be dismissed without evidence.
And they scrambled to try to find little breadcrumbs of people complaining about this character's design, including people from Asmongold's stream, which we'll get into in just a second. But next I want to say, looking at this character design, I think it's good. Like, I don't know, you can feel free to disagree in the comments section. At the very least, I think it's fine.
You know, I'm gonna have to make an assumption. This person here is based on a real woman. How many times we've seen Resident Evil characters exactly like their face models? Ada Wong, Jill Valentine, Leon Kennedy, Ashley Graham, Claire Redfield, Sherry Birkins. I can go on and on, but we'll be here all day.
The only comments I could find searching around was some people saying it's a bit stale. And that's about as far as I could find in terms of negative comments. But in the reply section, some people were really gassed up by what was going on. They believed this narrative being spread here. And you can see D-Batch here replying with this absolute alpha male comment right here. "These guys are effing losers. Virgins that J off to the hub. So much so, they think all lead females need to have that star look. Effing dorks, we gave you effers wedges in school. Think this is their get back. LOL, effing losers. LOL." Did you guys just feel a wave of testosterone and alpha male energy coming from this post? Absolutely unbelievable. What a Chad this guy is. First of all, he said wedges here, like
wedgies. And also, look, you can't exactly have an attractive female characters if the game sucks, okay? Attractiveness is just the cherry on top. How do you exactly make a good product with attractive female characters when your product sucks? The first Descendant, oh yeah, it off to a good start with the female characters and all that, but the game sucks. Well, it dropped off, which every live service does every time. I played a bit. Well, it's good, even though the monetization and the microtransactions still a main concern. So I have to uninstall it because, not because I hated it, because I need more space. Because I'm saving it for Stellar Blade, which I did have it right now. And now I'm saving some space for Mecha Break and also Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. Hopefully I can make it.
Give those people wedges of cheese, potato wedges perhaps. Of course, he was trying to say wedgies, which is kind of funny. I get why he probably misspelled this. He was probably crying so hard while typing this out. The tears falling from his face probably messed with his keyboard. But anyways, look at this projection. This guy's talking hard, saying everyone's a loser and a virgin. If they have any sort of criticism for this character, which it's hard to find any, but that's besides the point. But then he's talking about how he bullied people in school like this. Oh yeah, how tough. I mean, this is projection. You know this guy. This guy wasn't just getting wedgies. He was getting swirlies. Like, that head was getting dunked in toilets, and now he's coming back, and he's trying to pretend like he was always the tough guy. And also, he's got this, like, revenge of the nerds narrative down here. This whole post is just screaming insecurity. And to really cap this off, the worst result here is that it's projection, and this guy was bullied.
Sorry
the
about
worst
that.
result.
I think whoever this person is, he's probably not what he say it is. Because remember, when you see the users, looks can be deceiving, folks. Let me try that again.
Onto this video and the related topic for a couple of days now. And at one point, as pointed out here, for the last like 3 or 4 days, the note was removed. What? Temporarily. And I'll explain why that happened a little bit later in this video. But for a while, couple days, the note was removed, and he had this to say about the possibility of the note being removed.
People called it a rage bait. I was like, I'll make you a deal. If the community note comes off of that tweet, so then it actually makes me money, I will delete the tweet to prove to you I don't give a frick about this stupid social point rat race that you guys play. People called it a rage bait.
The social point rat race. Very high IQ assessment there. But, of course, the note would be reapplied, but all of this doesn't really matter. They're acting like getting, some level of engagement, a few thousand likes and a couple, or 1,700 replies is some gold mine of ad revenue. This is Twitter. Like, this whole tweet probably made 20 cents. Like, unironically. So the fact that they're like, I'll take it down to end the grifts, it doesn't really mean much. But anyway.
Congratulations, Reforge. You played yourself. Now you know why Ono Alex like clown on him. Or in this case, I was calling him out. I even lose count on how many videos Ono Alex made on him. Same goes for Gara or even Klutz.
Going back to the replies, more people saying, stop making up stuff that no one is saying, bro. I have not seen a singular person say that she was ugly. Yeah, no one's saying that. But here is a reply, since you obviously need the engagement money, you dip. Okay, well, let's move forward a little bit here. We have a comment from Grums. Now, like the guy or not, agree with his takes or not, the amount of people who are seething about this guy's existence is fascinating to observe from the outside. He says, with 3,200 likes, if that were true, I would have said it. But I don't think she's ugly, and you got it all wrong. This is just you baiting.
All those were true. I would have made a 100% cooked series video. Yet I didn't make it because, remember, I need evidence. And there's also similar with Directive A020. I didn't make any video on that because right now the only evidence I have on that, whether it's woke or not, is of course the partners out making games. If you don't know who that is the same consultancy company that told Rockstar to censor GTA 5 Enhanced Edition, the trans joke.
At the same time, someone else left a reply saying, that's Grum's brain rot for you. Amazing. He had a response. It's the exact opposite of what this person's saying. Then you look at their account. The first thing they want you to know about them, the first thing is Grum's tards equals instant block. Imagine dedicating your entire online presence to some random person that you could easily just mute or block and then ignore forever. But, of course, after a couple of days, Reforge Gaming would come back with the receipts, the damning receipts, as you'll see. Here's everything. This is what the entire narrative that he's trying to propose is based on, that claims the protagonist was woke and ugly according to some users. Here's the first one from a single account on Twitter. Protag looks woke. This greatly diminishes my interest in this game. Left-wing cowards are triggered by this. I prefer my women in video games, not ugly. And here is the final example. More evidence that a lot of dudes were instantly running with DEI and other anti-woke dog whistles the minute this trailer hit. Hold on a second. Anti-woke dog whistles. That is the most terminally online thing I have ever heard in my life. And believe me, I've heard a lot of things, okay? But this is the proof. This is from Asmongold's stream reacting to all this. And this is the proof. Two people in the chat, or a couple people in the chat saying DEI game, or DEI. And two down here saying DEI. Understand Asmongold's chat typically has 50,000+ people in it. So you're never going to control everyone. So
how exactly are you going to filter all of that to find the evidence? Again, here's the thing. You can have a diverse characters, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. You can have female characters. You can have LGBT. It's nothing wrong. However, the story and the gameplay must not be sacrificed. It had to take center stage. But most importantly, the horror aspect. If you sacrifice the horror aspects, it's not a Resident Evil game.
You have a couple circled examples here of random users saying DEI. Now, if you actually attend Asmongold's streams, I think it's very clear a lot of people like to troll him, right? They say stuff like this to try to get him to react to them. And in this case, I guarantee, knowing a little bit about Asmongold's content, he would say this game is not DEI. It's not woke. In fact, the only thing we see here is just people saying DEI over and over again. Now, there's another element to this that is very funny. The YouTuber Vera Dark would make a video talking about this same subject, the same tweet from Reforge Gaming, titled "Woke Loser Gets Wrecked for Claiming Gamers Think Resident Evil 9's Lead is Ugly," which is a lie. And she would obviously criticize his post and say, you didn't prove anything. You took a couple random posts across the internet and tried to give this narrative that that's what everyone's talking about, when that was obviously not the case. And he is absolutely fuming about her video. And this is a clip from one of his...
Actually, Rev, you should have seen him with Ono Alex. I think the reason why he's doing this, he doesn't want to get Ono Alex attention. Because he knows if Alex find this one out, Ono Alex is going to clown on him non-stop.
His recent streams where he's crashing out over Vera Dark's video. Brace yourselves. Okay. This is peak cringe.
So Vera Dark put up a video on you. It was a laugh. Oh, because of my tweet about the Resident Evil thing, and they're all in denial. They can put me in their content all they want. I don't care. I will never appeal to their audience because I don't deal in grift and half-truths. Listen to me. What I said got attention because a hit dog barks. And they've created and fostered a monster, and they don't want to admit it. They don't want to admit the fact that now every single time a minority or a woman is on screen, that's the conversation that starts immediately. A millisecond later, there are people typing DEI, woke, and ugly in the chat. And it happened with Resident Evil 9, and they're all in denial. They can all say nobody's saying this, which is absolutely idiotic to claim. Plenty of people were saying it. We had screenshots from Asmongold's chat. People were immediately saying DEI and woke. We had people in our chat saying it. We had a tweet. We had multiple tweets in response to my tweet saying that the woman was ugly. That is now a conversation piece for every frickin' game. And it came from the grifting anti-woke ilk of the internet. And that's why they got angry. Because when I said this is absolutely stemming from misery and loneliness, a hit dog barks. And that's what they make money off of. They make content for miserable and lonely men who are upset and angry, and they need something to hurl that emotion at. Those people make money off of the emotional manipulation of disenfranchised men, and it's gross. And I threw a rock in the dark, and I hit a dog, and it barked. Because they were all like, oh my gosh, that's literally what this content thrives on, so we've got to attack this. Yeah, well, you'll learn very quickly attacking me is a bad idea. It doesn't work.
Yeah, once again, there he goes with the, hit a dog and see who barks or whatever.
Hey, Reforge, do you want us to get Ono Alex here? I'm probably certain when Ono Alex sees that video, you're going to get a much bigger crash out. I haven't exactly made a 100% cooked video on Resident Evil 9 because I didn't see any evidence to back it up. So far, everything looks good. Just remember one thing about Resident Evil. It's the horror aspect. The horror aspect is the one thing that makes Resident Evil success. Well, combined with the action, but the most important thing of all is the horror aspect. Without it, it will not consider or be considered as Resident Evil games. So I'll link Rev's video in the description. I just want to say my only main concern, my criticism on Resident Evil games is, of course, de novo. Seriously, Capcom, you need to stop implementing de novo. It is quite apparent that most of your sales comes from the PC. You cannot keep ignoring them. And by implementing de novo, you are continuing to ignore PC players because what? They'll pirate the game? Capcom, the game will pirate. Capcom, your game will be pirated whether you implement de novo or not. It's gonna happen.
This thing was responsible for the deaths of Alpha Team. We need to report this to HQ.
Leave a like and subscribe if you want woke or anti-woke detected, or you just want to see me play games, or perhaps you like trending topics. Visit my second, third, and fourth channel up here or link in the description.